At the beginning of communication, even when mutual sympathy rises, the girl has a reasonable question. Is this a light flirtation, a fleeting attraction, an attempt to get intimacy and have fun? Or is the man serious and can he be considered for the role of a future husband? There is always a risk of making a mistake, which can lead to a loss of time. It would be worth weeding this out and looking at others. But in the end, months and years are spent on a partner who, having received what he wants, disappears. You can easily find dozens, hundreds and thousands of publications on this topic on the internet. I studied most of them and came to the conclusion that they impose false guidelines. Girls like simple and understandable arguments that allow them not to bother too much and set the bar at a high level in order to filter out freeloaders. Almost all the usual rules correlate with childhood psycho-emotional traumas. Selection turns into a classification of men according to the signs of normality. But the trouble is, none of this indicates that a man is serious, and most often even the opposite. Your demands scare away the adequate and become a zone of attraction for abusers, narcissists, and those with critically low self-esteem. By what criteria is it impossible to determine the seriousness of intentions? Let's start with them. From those very signs by which girls most often select worthy companions and make mistakes. I have already said that you cannot fall in love with courtship. This publication caused a resonance, which is not surprising. Any contradiction of beliefs leads to defensive reactions of the psyche and emotions of anger. I got a lot of it as soon as they didn't call me names, but I will continue to stand my ground, as this knowledge is backed up by practice. The man looks after and achieves beautifully. Romance, caring and beautiful love stories inspire us. We are pleased to read books with a similar plot, watch movies, and even more so to be in the place of a loved one. Everyone likes to receive attention and support, so surprises, gifts, any form of help, as well as kisses under the moon and a walk by the hand along the embankment can not only inspire, but also excite. All this must necessarily be present in a healthy relationship. Minor manifestations of love, flowers for no reason, treats with sweets, and other acts of courtship are the foundation for romantic union. I am especially surprised by people who are able to go on dates 20 to 30 years after marriage. But there is one thing. All this is part of an existing relationship. When he no longer needs to beg and deserve anything, he knows for sure that he is respected and appreciated here. His needs are important, and his worries will be heard. Only in a situation of complete independence is a person able to show sincere feelings. And then inviting a spouse to a restaurant is not an attempt to turn her head in order to pull off her tights as soon as possible, but a desire to enjoy spending time together and express gratitude for her presence. Focusing on courtship at the beginning of a relationship, especially if you haven't given him anything yet, is just as stupid as determining the depth with scales or the weight with a ruler. Girls who grew up without a father tend to look for guarantees, but others also sin against this. You can continue the discussion on this topic, but it is much more effective to accept reality. Mentally healthy men take care of their girls. Abusers and narcissists do it to achieve a goal. Then you will turn into a trophy or become unnecessary. A man demonstrates the ability to take responsibility. Another crooked path is checking a guy's willingness to be a father and husband. To do this, some tests are range in which he must demonstrate resourcefulness. And how will you support your family? Can you solve problems? Do you know how to protect your woman? Can you pull it off financially? Do you have your own apartment? Is the job stable? All these are really important questions because everyone has a sexual organ. Most even function normally, and the external attractiveness of a guy is not a scarce commodity. A pretty girl can easily find a charismatic companion for carnal pleasures and a pleasant pastime. But family is not a gathering in a cafe or entertainment in a tequila club. Only again there is a nuance. Firstly, the present does not guarantee the future in any way. Today, a man is strong, active, cheerful and fresh, has his own home, is attached to a good position, always has a cutlet of money in his pocket. But what if tomorrow, God forbid, he gets sick, loses his business, loses his job, and flies into depression? You don't need one anymore. That is, these relations are initially market-based. Then why do you need to know the seriousness of his intentions if you yourself are clearly not really in love in such a situation? Secondly, it is important to finally figure out what the zones of personal and mutual responsibility are. You can look for a dad forever, each time expecting unconditional love and paternal care from an adult man. A mentally healthy person is not interested in this. He is looking for a partnership, mutual sympathy, common goals and plans, coincidence of views on key issues. And while everyone closes their personal needs themselves, and in everything else sex, children, leisure, emotional support, and so on there is interaction with a companion. These relationships will live on. As a result, many here are guided by external signals. A man solves her problems, proves her worthiness with financial expenses, convinces her of self-sufficiency, draws attention to the car and apartment, thereby showing that I am the most resourceful of all. You will follow me like behind a stone wall. I will move mountains for you. It is captivating. Only in 90% of cases it is pure chatter. But it's even worse if the psyche reacts to the benefit, and then suddenly it turns out that you are in a golden cage. Everything seems to be fine, but this person is not native, alien, not interesting, unpleasant. The man is jealous and drives away competitors. Jealousy is a disgusting feeling, and a very dangerous one, plus everything. However, from a girl's point of view, it sometimes looks completely different. The logic is as follows: if a guy doesn't need me, then he doesn't care about me. And even if someone takes me away, he won't be too upset. I have no value to him. And then what's the point of building a relationship with a person who doesn't care at all? Another thing is a man who is ready to fight for his love. He asks where I am, with whom, what kind of voices in the background, who wrote to me on the social network, why does a colleague constantly smile at me, why does he call at 10 p.m., has afraid of losing me, says he can't live without me and will strangle anyone if he dares to take me away from him. Although it is annoying sometimes, but this is how he shows his boundless love for me. But no, it's not love. These are self-doubt, fear of rejection, critically low self-esteem, and a false need. He is not fighting so desperately for you, but for the perception of himself. An unloved person who often experiences a lack of attention and care, which was needed only when he met expectations. In adulthood, he continues to do this, has heard enough of the fictional criteria for real men and tries to be just that. Nothing good awaits you personally here, and focusing on jealousy. You deceive yourself by claiming that the man is serious. A man is inferior to a girl in everything. Girls, however, like men, like it when a partner covers their needs and makes life better. Maybe he hates Turkish TV series, but he constantly watches them to keep you company. Or he doesn't want to spend the weekend with your mom, but obediently goes because you want to. He wanted to go to football, but instead he stays at home, because that's what his companion wants. He prefers sportswear, but you have a different opinion, and now he is already in a jacket. He has a big beard, but the girl considers it untidy. As a result, the man buys a trimmer. All this indicates two things. Firstly, you are different people. Your views differ critically and compatibility is extremely low. Secondly, he suppresses himself, tolerates and adjusts, therefore waiting for the moment to compensate for his losses. He concedes because he believes that the benefits will cover the losses, and together, such a situation leads to a violation of the balance of significance. As long as he needs something, your value is high. But if a man does not get a profit or, on the contrary, takes everything he wanted, the relationship is over. The only actions that matter are those committed on their own, for the sake of closing the true needs. If you both love horror movies and have watched them separately, and now you have teamed up and are watching together, then this indicates compatibility. If you like thrillers, and he likes action movies, and you manage to find a compromise, for example, watching movies separately or being around at such moments without irritation, then this is also a form of compatibility. Being present without the desire to benefit indicates the seriousness of intentions. Everything else is an attempt to earn something important for yourself, and then leave. A man introduces relatives and friends, another criterion that girls pay attention to. It sounds logical, because if a companion is disposable and there are no plans for her, then it is unwise to introduce her to friends and especially relatives. There will be another one tomorrow anyway, so why waste time building unnecessary connections? However, this indicator is not always 100% correct. There are a huge number of men for whom a girl's acquaintance with her surroundings means nothing. I came to the company with Masha this weekend, and with Glasha the next weekend. Everyone is used to it. No one has any questions. Mom already knows that her son is a womanizer, but treats all newly minted girls kindly simply because she has such a character. A very friendly woman. Therefore, it is not worth focusing on such events. This may indicate both the seriousness of intentions and nothing at all. Instead of the total,